Hello everybody, my name's Nicola and welcome back to my channel. This is the Frugal Cottage where we talk all things money to help you on your financial journey. Today's video is my June 2025 dividend income update, so don't forget to like and subscribe. And let's get started. So we are already halfway through the year of 2025, so it's interesting to look at how this is going so far. If you're new here, my dividend income journey is just that. This is not financial advice, I'm just sharing what I'm doing in my journey. And the aim for this now is for looking ahead to retirement and having dividends fund or support that in that terms. It used to be early retirement if you've been a long time subscriber, and it is now just retirement. And I realise that's quite a long time away, but you have to plan for these things. And in the meantime, it is about consistency and steadily growing this and seeing where it takes me. So, like I say, this is not financial advice, this is just me sharing what I've been doing in the hopes that it might inspire you to start your own journey in dividend investing, because I promise you, it is not as scary as it seems. That being said, let's have a look at what has paid out during the month of June. So the first one to pay out in June is BAE Systems. Now, I've had this in my portfolio for quite a long time now, I'm talking years, and they are the biggest growing stock in my portfolio. Their share price has gone up so massively that actually, although I would like to own more of these, I don't think I can afford to own more of these shares because their price per share has gone up so much. And on paper, that looks fantastic. Now, I'm a dividend investor, which means that I invest for dividends, the income. However, the growth is also there with this one particularly, and so it's just been such a good purchase for my portfolio. And like I say, I wish I could buy more of these, but I really genuinely can't. But they paid out £46.14, so that was a fantastic start to our dividend income report for this. And at the end, once I share all the numbers, I'll kind of go through what bills that would pay. So at the moment, all of this is reinvested, but the long-term aim is for it to pay bills, and we'll go over that once we're done. The second company that paid out in June was HSBC. Now, I have a really small holding in HSBC. It is one that I'm looking to add to eventually when funds allow, but at the moment it's incredibly small and the dividend payment reflects that. Now, remember, this isn't me suggesting you buy these, this is just what I'm doing. But HSBC paid out a really small £1.25, and I think that is the smallest payment I have in my portfolio for the entire year, and it is because I just have so little of them that obviously then when you kind of look at what they pay per share and how much they paid out, the more you own, the more you get paid, which is the case for all of them, and HSBC is particularly small. So the third holding to pay out is Legal & General Group. Now, again, I've had these in my portfolio for a long time. I have quite a lot of shares compared to most of the holdings, and that reflects the dividend payment. Now, at the moment, my target for my portfolio, and again, this changes quite regularly to be fair, my aim at the moment is to get 1,000 shares of each holding in my portfolio as a starting point. However, I've just said that I don't think I'll ever be able to afford to buy any more of BAE shares anyway. But in my head at the moment, the obvious target, money aside, so kind of targets like my target for dividend income this year is £1,000. In terms of my portfolio itself, my target then is to get 1,000 shares in each of my holdings. That will take a long time, especially for the funds, which are much more expensive per one. But in my head at the moment, that's my aim and that's my target. And Legal & General, I can tick that box because I have that, and that's why their dividend payment reflects this. So they paid out £168.96, and it is purely because I have so many of those. And actually their share price has been quite up and down recently, and so the growth for that isn't as good as some of the others, but their dividend payment, and again, because I'm a dividend investor, although I do look at the growth of things, I also focus on the dividend income. And obviously, imagine if I could get every single holding in my portfolio that I have to pay out this kind of number every time. That would just make things so much easier. But that is, again, a long-term aim for that. And so eventually maybe that might be the case. I watch so many dividend income videos on YouTube, and some of them have like, oh, this paid out 1,000 and something, and it's just the numbers are insane in a good way, and very much inspiring, although slightly out of, it feels like most of the time that is very much out of reach for my circumstances, but it's interesting to watch. But it'd be interesting if I can ever get it. So like, say I've got Legal and General Group, but then HSBC also pay that out. And so, that would be interesting over how it goes over time anyway, because that is the long-term aim, I guess, in that. And then the final one that paid out was Sage Group. I used to have a lot more of these, but I had to sell most of them. And again, that's reflected in their dividend, which is £3.73. So I did have a lot more. I now have a lot less, clearly. And so the total for June is £220.08. And again, so May was better just, but this is the second best month of the year so far, and it's such a good number. So if I think about that in terms of bills that I pay, that would pay for my council tax, my water rate, and my mobile phone bill, so 3 of my fixed expenses, although I guess you could argue that mobile phone isn't, but it is. And 3 fixed expenses is fantastic. Now, July and August are going to be zero in terms of dividend income, so it's not consistent. It's the consistency part that really gets me in terms of it's part of the journey, I suppose, is getting that consistency. And again, when I watch these different YouTube videos and they are consistently getting 4 figures every month, and I'm like, well, that's, again, a long-term aim is looking at that as well. But £220 in 1 month, and all of this is reinvested, so it doesn't actually pay for my fixed expenses because it goes back into build that and build it slowly, because it is slow. But it's always going to be. So I'm going to share the visual representation of that next, and then look at the numbers as a whole for the year so far. So if you're not new here, I love a visual representation of things. I have lots of them for different things, and dividend income is no exception. So you can see the vast difference between, so January I got £3.96, and then June here I've had £220. The consistency of dividend payments is so not consistent at all. March there was 0. July and August are going to be 0 as well. And it is just about building that so that eventually it all kind of evens itself out. But imagine if I could get all my bars like up here. And again, we're talking kind of probably years down the line until I can get to that point. But it is about being consistently and putting money in every month and building that slowly, and I guess enjoying the process as well. I love getting the little notification on my phone that says that I've had dividend income paid. I love the process, and I love watching other people's journeys on this. But that's what it looks like as a visual representation. And they're going to show you the numbers as a whole. So this is what the first 6 months of the year looks like in terms of dividend income. So you can see, I've talked about consistency, but look at the difference in numbers. So May has been the best month so far for dividend income. June not too far behind. I think the next best month will be September. Well, I say that it is, but it is. So September and October are good, and December is, as far as I know, November will also be 0, but we'll see how that pans out, I guess. June invested cash-wise is lower. I've had a lot of expenses in June. I made a promise to myself that I'd put something in every single month, and is £50 enough? No, not really. Should I put it in there? Probably not, given how tight money has been. But I've done it, and it's in there, and we are going to continue to plod on regardless. And we will see where the year takes us. If I scroll down, so for the year so far, so bearing in mind my target for this year is £1,000 in dividend income. Halfway through, we are almost at that £500 mark. Do I think I'm going to do this? I don't actually know. I really don't. But we're going to continue regardless. £496.10 is an amazing total so far. And if someone handed me that on the street, I'd be like, yes, please. So we will continue. And like I say, the aim this year was to put something in every month. And I've managed to put £600 of my own money into my stocks and shares ISA this year, which has been, it's been a struggle because my finances are tight, but I'm still doing it. I'm still looking. This is me putting my own self first in the future, if that makes sense. And so we're going to continue. I'm hoping that July might be more than that, although we're into the summer months, which always tend to be more expensive, so I don't know. But if I can reach £1,000 invested this year, that would have been better than the previous few years anyway. So yeah, but that's what it's looking like so far, and I hope I get to £1,000 dividend income. That would be so good to tick that milestone off again, because I've reached it before and then I'm having to start over kind of thing. So I have reached it before, but we will just see. So have you had any dividend income this month? How is your own dividend income journey looking? Let me know how you are getting on down below. I love reading comments about people's own journeys. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you again very soon.